Imagine walking into a building you built from the ground up, a place where every detail carries your vision, your sweat, your sacrifice. But instead of being welcomed, you're stopped, questioned, and humiliated because the people there cannot believe you belong. That's exactly what happened to one of the richest black businessmen in America. He walked into his own company headquarters, the empire he built, only to be told to leave. This is not just a story about one man. It's about how deep prejudice runs, even when success, wealth, and achievement can no longer be denied. The man at the center of this story is no ordinary figure. From humble beginnings, he rose against all odds, working long nights, turning failures into lessons, and transforming small opportunities into massive wins. Eventually, he built a billion-dollar company recognized across the world. His story should have been one of celebration, respect, and inspiration, but the reality is far more complicated. The headquarters of his company stood as a towering symbol of achievement, yet also as a test of how society views race and power. On an ordinary morning, dressed in a sharp-tailored suit, he stepped through those glass doors, confident and proud. What awaited him wasn't applause or acknowledgement, it was disbelief. Security eyed him suspiciously. Staff whispered. And before long, someone walked up and asked a question that cut deeper than any insult. "Sir, do you have an appointment?" In that moment, everything slowed. He was the founder, the CEO, the very heartbeat of the company. Yet here he was, treated like an intruder in the empire he created. The security guard stood firm, insisting he couldn't pass without clearance. Employees looked on with curiosity, some even with discomfort, but no one spoke up. The billionaire explained who he was, but his words were met with skepticism. To them, it was unthinkable that a black man could own such a business, let alone be the one in charge. Minutes stretched into humiliation. His ID badge was dismissed as fake. His name, though engraved in bold letters across the company's annual reports, was doubted. Even when he pointed to the massive portrait of himself hanging in the lobby, they hesitated. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a reflection of systemic disbelief that success, brilliance, and leadership could belong to someone who looked like him. Every second reinforced the truth. No matter how high he climbed, prejudice was waiting at every floor. The situation escalated when they demanded he step outside until proper verification was made. Imagine that. The founder of a billion-dollar company escorted out of his own building like a trespasser. Crowds in the lobby stared. Some pulled out phones, and for a brief moment the world saw power stripped bare by ignorance. But here's the twist. A senior executive rushed in, recognized him immediately, and froze in shock at what was happening. Within seconds, apologies poured in, hands extended, and explanations stammered out. But the damage was already done. The billionaire's silence said more than any words. He didn't need to argue. The humiliation had already exposed a brutal truth. Money, status, and success cannot shield black people from the weight of racism. Later, in private, he reflected on the incident. It wasn't about his ego. It wasn't about hurt feelings. It was about what it revealed, that in a world where he had shattered glass ceilings and rewritten history, prejudice still blinded people to the simplest truth, that he belonged. This wasn't just one moment of ignorance. It was a mirror reflecting how countless others are judged, doubted, and disrespected every single day simply because of the color of their skin. If a billionaire could face such treatment in his own empire, what does that mean for those with no power, no platform, and no wealth to protect them? The lesson is haunting, yet powerful. Success may change your bank account, but it doesn't erase bias from people's minds. And until society learns to see beyond skin color, stories like his will continue to unfold in offices, in schools, and in neighborhoods across the world. So ask yourself this: if this can happen to one of the most successful black men alive, what does that say about the world we're living in?